when
Awesome.
she's ready.
Great. Thank you so much. So I'm going to just share my screen. All right. You can see where it says Champaign Public Library, right?
Yes, you look like you're all set up.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to attend today's session. Today, I'm going to show you a little bit about Statista and how you can use the various tools to help put together a business plan, get an overview of the market you're looking to enter or you're currently in. There's a bunch of different ways, and I'm so excited to walk you through the platform. So a little bit about Statista. We are an online platform that simplifies the research process. We research, analyze, and aggregate statistical data and reports. And we give Champaign Public Library patrons access to market information across 170 industries in 160 countries. There's more than 1 million multidisciplinary statistics with 300 to 400 new statistics added daily. There's over 21,000 infographics, 80,000 topics pages, 160 country reports, various reports covering 170 industries, as well as citation tools, in case if you are doing this for a project that requires a works cited page. And we also have global comparison tools covering consumer markets, e-commerce markets, businesses in various countries, and more. And today I'm going to start off with our industry reports. Our industry reports, they consolidate the most important info on industries in a detailed report that shows important and insightful data about the status quo and trends of a particular industry. And this database of industry reports will help you understand how to break into a market and understand how it's performed over time. So let's go into one of our industry reports. I have a little picture that shows you where you can find it. And I'm going to share my screen. All right. Now we're going to go to the Statista homepage. All right. So what's important, the best way to find the data that you need or for a particular industry, I say start off with a broad search term and filter down by the data that you need. So I'm going to write down apparel in the search box on the homepage. And then I'm going to filter by industry and country reports because I want to know what's going on in the apparel industry. So as I scroll down, there's retail fashion in the US 2020. And you can see that it's categorized by the NAICS code. So if you do have a NAICS code, if you have that, you can also search by that particular NAICS code if you want to get super specific. So we have them categorized, but I just wanted to let you know. And you can download this report as a PDF. So let's open it up. Sorry, I was being a little shy. So here is an example of our industry report. And as we scroll down, we get the table of contents. So this is kind of like a booklet form that shows what's contained in this report. So key figures on how the industry is performing, a SWOT analysis, so you have an idea of how this industry is performing, financial numbers, companies, so what are the top big companies, employees and salaries, as well as some other data on info on how we collected all of this data. So this is a big report, so I'm just going to show you a little bit in the front matter. So here are those key figures in the fashion industry in the United States. So companies, how many companies are out there, how many people employ this particular, in this market. And here's that SWOT analysis. This is important if anyone has, I'm sure some people have taken a business course or intro business course at one point in their lives, or maybe they need to do this for work. But putting together a SWOT analysis is really important when entering a new industry or just reevaluating the industry after a while, just finding your strengths, weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the threats. Industry definition, as well as some of the subcategories. So there's the NAICS code, and then it breaks down even further into subcategories like women's clothing, children's clothing, jewelry, some financial numbers and sales to just see. So this is sales in billions. And at the bottom of each page is the source. So if you want to delve even further into where we got this, we have the source link where we collected that information. So that's a little bit about these industry reports, just a one-stop shop to get that bird's eye view, that general overview of that particular industry. All right, now I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. The next thing I'm going to show is our consumer market outlook. So the consumer market outlook is a unique and comprehensive forecasting tool. This is exclusive to Statista, like all of our other outlooks, and this presents key performance indicators such as sales, revenue, and prices of the most important consumer markets worldwide. And the purpose of this tool is to help users understand an industry in a particular country. So I'm going to go into an example together. All right, so share. Going back to the Statista homepage, where you would be able to find this is in our outlooks and our consumer market outlook. So you click on to here. And here is our market directory. So we have a lot of consumer products that you can go into, beauty care. We're always adding on more consumer goods as they become more relevant. For example, we have hand sanitizer. We did not think 6 months ago that we would need to have a segment on the hand sanitizer market, but we do. I'm going to go into apparel, particularly women's t-shirts. And this brings me to what's going on in the women's t-shirt market on a worldwide scale. But this can be filtered down by region, so all of the Americas, maybe just North America, maybe that's where you want to have your business, or you can do it by a particular country. I'm going to do the United States because that's where we're located. And now the report has updated to include just information for the United States in this particular market. This can be downloaded, this entire page, as an Excel file if you'd like to have those numbers and work with them on your own. But here you'll see a couple of quick highlights of what's going on. A market definition that just shows, what exactly we mean by the women's t-shirt market. It's really good because sometimes different countries define the markets differently. We try to make sure everything is all the same. What's going to be in this report? So t-shirts and singlets, we're not talking about bathrobes or nightwear. And as we scroll down, we can see the history of the revenue that's been generated in this particular market, apparel, women's t-shirts, and how it's grown over time, and or how it has dropped down significantly. So we've had everything adjusted for COVID. Not too many people were out buying women's t-shirts in 2020 because we've been home for so long. And then we also have average revenue per capita, volume, so how many pieces were sold, as well as the growth, significant decline, as well as average volume per capita. And this, I think, is extremely important, is the price per unit. So we have the average price per unit. So what's the average women's t-shirt price in the United States in 2020? Right now, it's $7.50. As somebody who lives in the New York City area, I do not know, I've never seen a t-shirt this, this cheap, but that's the national average. And we predict that to go out to up to $8.14 in 2025. So this could be very important for thinking of what your price point is going to be and how flexible you'll need to be over time. We also have these great global comparison tools, so you can get an overview of how this market is performing on a big scale. So right here you see United States. We're #1 in the women's t-shirt market, followed by China. You can also hover over a particular country if you don't see the country you're looking for, and just get an idea of their annual revenue. We also have these great key market indicators. These can be downloaded as an Excel file, but this is all things that you would want to take in consideration in a particular market. So women's t-shirts in the United States, you'd want to know the population of the particular country, the female population versus the male population, what people are spending their money on in the United States, as well as tourism. So we're thinking of women's t-shirts. Tourism and t-shirts go hand in hand. As tourism declines, these t-shirts, would decline as well. So all of these figures can be downloaded in Excel and can be taken into consideration when you're putting together all of your data. The next feature I'm going to show is our digital market outlook. So this,
Megan?
yes?
Can you put present slideshow, because it's just really small?
Oh, yeah, yes.
All right.
Better?
Perfect, yes.
Thank you. So the next thing I'm going to show you is our digital market outlook. So this is the same look, feel, and functionality as the consumer market outlook, but this would focus on the digital service economy. So if you're looking to open up an e-commerce shop, the digital market outlook would be really helpful. So I'm going to go back. And we're going to go into the digital market outlook. And sticking with apparel, we're going to go under the e-commerce, and we're just going to go into apparel. And again, this shows the apparel market on a worldwide scale, but if you just want the United States, you can just type that in. We have 160 countries to choose from, so if you are interested in opening up an apparel e-commerce shop in, or just want to get an idea in Bosnia or Estonia, you can do that. But I just wanted to let you know that there's other countries to look at. So here's some highlights. Market definition, so clothing items sold online. So this is including outerwear, children's clothing, but not baby clothing, bridal wear, costumes, working attire. But we're not going to talk about, we're not talking about shoes and accessories, or leather goods, or outdoor and sports clothing. And then you'll get to see the revenue growth. It looks like more people are buying some pieces of apparel in 2020 online because of COVID-19. I guess we're home and we're shopping a lot. Users, so how many people are online shopping for apparel and how we expect it to grow over time. Average revenue per user, so how much money is one single person spending or generating. Sales channel. This is interesting. These are the top online stores by net sales. So if you're planning on opening up your own e-commerce shop, here are the big box competitors that you are going against. It's just good to have that information. I know it's not a direct comparison, but it's just good to know kind of what they're generating on their end. This is interesting. This is the demographics. So if you are putting together your marketing campaign and you don't know too much about who your target audience is, this is really helpful. This is users by age. So the people who are shopping for online for apparel most is 25 to 34-year-olds. It's also segmented out by gender as well as income. I also want to point out that these images are exportable as a high-res image, and some of these are available as an Excel file. So this can be downloaded and you can make your own graph from that Excel file. We also have these great citation tools. So if your work does require any works cited pages, we have those citation tools so you can copy and paste and insert right into your report. With the availability with Champaign Public Library, you have the publication rights of this content. So you can take it, as long as you're citing where you're getting it from, you're able to take this graph and insert it into your presentation. Again, we have the global comparison tool. So in this time, United States were number 2 in the e-commerce apparel market, and China by a long shot is number 1. So bringing that into consideration, if I'm opening up an e-commerce shop for apparel, I'm competing against these big online shops in China. Again, the key market indicators, these are a little bit different because we're talking about e-commerce. So this considers the population, again, what people are spending in the United States, what are they spending their money on. But this also measures the access to telecommunication. So where do you shop? On your phone, on your computer? You're going to need access to either a smartphone or a broadband subscription. So that is helpful as well. And again, right here, that can be downloaded. All right, going back to the PowerPoint. So that was the digital market outlook. The next one I'm going to show is our advertising and media outlook. This presents the key performance indicators such as ad spending, revenue, and users. And this is a brand new tool. This was just launched, but it was designed to help you understand trends in the advertising market so you can make a strategic promotion plan. So we're going to go and show that. All right, and that will be in advertising and media outlook under the outlooks tab. And I'm going to show the market directory. So we have advertising and media. I'm going to go into social media advertising. I want to go back into the United States. So here are quick highlights of what's going on with social media advertising. So ad spending in the social media advertisement segment, it's projected to reach $37,949 million in 2020. Ad spending is expected to show an annual growth rate of 7.9%. Market definition. So what are we talking about when it's social media advertising? So ad revenue generated by social networks or business networks like Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. What's included? So all ad spending, as well as sponsored posts. But we're not including ads within online games. So those ads when you are playing solitaire that keep coming up, that's not included. or revenue generated from membership subscriptions or premium fees. So here's how ad spending has changed over the last couple of years. Your spending development, obviously COVID had some sort of effect. The split between desktop and mobile. And then there's also the growth between desktop and mobile. We have these analyst opinions peppered throughout our outlooks. So if there's a point in time where you are seeing all these charts and like, what does this all mean? We typically have a analyst opinion. This is written by an industry expert to kind of gear you into, what you're looking at. So it's always helpful to have that there for you. This is important. This is the reach by social network. So if you are planning on taking your business and you want to have an advertising campaign and you want to do it by social media, here is the reach in millions. So of each social network, and you can even take away some of these. So maybe you don't want to bother with Tumblr, or LinkedIn, or Pinterest, or Snapchat. You just want Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and just seeing the growth over time of the users. And then you can click the PNG image. Priscilla, can they see the, can you see the image that I exported?
Not yet, no.
No? Okay, that's fine. But this can be exported as an image. Average ad spending per social media user. So this is in US dollars. The market share. So the biggest one is Facebook. So you can make that decision. Where do I want to have my social media advertisements? Where do I want to promote my store or my products? It looks like Facebook is the clear-cut answer. And then the global comparison, just to see who is spending the most on advertising on social media. And number one is China. Number one is the United States. Not too far behind is China. And these the key market indicators, again, population of this particular country, what they're spending money on, their access to the internet via smartphone or laptop, as well as what are the revenues for these particular social networks. All right. The next I'm going to show is industry outlook. So this is another brand new outlook that we have created, and this provides you with industry forecasts and market information based on data from national statistical offices. So this is data that is available from government sites, but we put it in a more presentable, easier to comprehend way. And the data in these reports cover agriculture, manufacturing, and other service sectors. So this is new, so there's not too many industries. We're going to be adding them, but I did want to show you in particular the manufacturing. So let's go back. And that is right over here, the industry outlook. And I'm going to go into the market directory, and under manufacturing, because we were talking about apparel, the manufacturer of wearing apparel. Here we go. And this shows, again, that same look, feel, and functionality, the revenue of this particular market. And we also want to say, like, we're talking about in scope and out of scope, we're talking about what materials, so leather, fabric, knitted. So a lot of this, we're just not talking about repair. So no tailoring, or not just tailoring, but the upcycle market. So here is the revenue and how it's expected to grow over time or not grow. Total number of enterprises. So who are you going up against? How many people? And then just some of those other key market indicators. So this just helps visualize what's going on in this particular industry. So the last thing I am going to show you that can really help you put together your business plan is our business plan export. So this is the business plan export provides you with structure as well as some content for creating your business plan. And this is where you'll be able to download all the relevant data you need for number crunching. And it just gives you a place to put together some of the numbers and the things that you need to consider when you're formulating your business plan for the first time. All right, share. The business plan export is located under Tools. And then you'll click into Business Plan Export. So you'll want to pick the market that you're going into. I'm going to stick with apparel. And then I'm going to pick the region. And I'm going to stick with the United States. Then I'm going to go into the summary. I'm going to start the data export, and it's going to download as an Excel file. All right. Just let me share. Okay. So when you download the file, it comes in this Excel format. We have these little help bubbles that you can always delete. And there's different segments. You can pick your currency. We're going to stick with USD. And then the start year of your business. So I want to open up a apparel brand in 2021. This page right here, this is the data. This is the raw data. You can take a look at the numbers for different segments. So everything that's related here, we have consumer spending, blazers, clothing and accessories and other clothes. Everything you can even think of, all these different key market indicators available here. And you can filter, and we have these numbers, whether it is a dollar amount or a number amount, or a percentage as well. So you can filter by, you know, maybe we just want to look at blazers, women's blazers. And this can, so you can get the numbers of the average price in all of America, or you can also get it in just North America. So this can be easily filtered. Maybe we just want just United States. And here you'll see these numbers. So the average blazers for women and girls, $75. If you want just women, $97, and how it's grown over time. Some of this data has numbers out into 2030, some of it only goes to 2025. But all of this data is the same exact data that powers our market outlooks. We just have it now in a downloadable Excel form that you can take those numbers and create your own charts and graphs. The next tab is our market tab, and this is where you can, it's an interactive graph that allows you to look at the broader development of annual data, and you choose various indicators that will be populated on the graph. So again, we always have these little help bubbles, but when you download a new one, you can always just delete them. Whoop. just to get rid of them. And then I'm going to have my market indicators. I'm going to have the female population. Sorry about that. So we want the female population total. I want to talk about blazers. And volume, so how many pieces were sold over the last couple of years. And then I want to do something different, and that's sports-inspired apparel. That's kind of athleisure, those fancy sweatpants. So I'm going to scroll down. Oops. Volume. So how many pieces were sold in sports inspired apparel over the last couple of years? So this was 34, and this is row 35. Okay. We also have this scaled out into I think in the billions. So you can scale this down by 10, just so it's a little bit easier to read. We can also play with the graph to include only the years that you need. So maybe 2021 out into 2025. And this just gives a market model. So you can see as the female population worldwide stays pretty much the same. And then you take a look at blazers, a more formal piece of apparel. And you can see it going up and down. And then you can see how the numbers change when it comes to the sports related apparel. You can also filter this by United States. So I'm going to go United States. That's where we want to open up our business. So this is a little bit easier to, the numbers are a little bit smaller. So we see female population stays pretty much the same, but that formal apparel, those blazers, you can see them significantly going down where the sales of sports-inspired apparel is going up. So this can help just visualize these numbers, and you can make some decisions. Oh, maybe I don't want to include blazers in my my sheet in my offerings. Maybe I want to go towards a more sports inspired market, a more casual market. The next form is the profit and loss statement. So you would use this to estimate your company's revenue and expenditures. And we included a lot of suggestions that you'll want to keep in mind as you put together your plan. We got those little bubbles. Let's get rid of these. But this is something that you would fill out yourself. You can delete things. If you only want to offer one product, you can get rid of product 2, or maybe you want to offer a whole range of products, you can add, copy and paste and add more in. So I have, and there's also 3 different views. So this is the level 3 view, and this has all the categories and subcategories listed, like the total sales revenue, net price, average discount, added customers, lost customers. And as you scroll down, how much does it cost to create this product? And then marketing expenses, cost per click. You'd want to input those numbers in there as well. And then as you scroll down, we have other suggestions like flyers and giveaways, technology licenses. So if you purchase a CRM system to keep track of all your customers, or an inventory license like AS 2000 that you would put in your inventory. You would want to include those all in your fact sheets as well as employees. So if you plan on having employees, here's everything that goes into having employees. So all of this data is really relevant for you to fill in. And this is the level 3 view. The level 2 view up here. So once you fill in those numbers, you can just get a condensed overview. And then if somebody just wants to look at the regular numbers, so once that's all filled in, they would be able to see the summary. You know, how much is this going to cost me, or how much sales are you going to make? So this is good for if you just want to do the broad overview, but it all comes from that level 3 view. So you would put your own estimations for your specific product. So any green cell is where you would input your numbers, and any of these blue cells are just calculations based on the green cells. So I'm just going to plug in a bunch of meaningless numbers just so we can have something populated on the other page. And then so after you've input everything in here, the last page is your comparison tools. So this takes information from the previous pages and just shows those overall projections over time. So this can help answer questions: when do you plan to break even? What justifies your sales numbers? You can add in some other information as well, and screenshot and put this into your presentation. But anything that you put into your profit and loss statement would be reflected here. So it just helps visualize those numbers. So it will show you how the total sales revenue, if it grows or doesn't grow over time. I didn't put any real numbers in here, so it kind of just shows, everything's pretty flat. But it all depends on your particular business, the total cost of sales, your gross profit, and your net profit. And this chart over here is taking from the market tab. So this is just another way to see how the market, just to see it in a line chart, how it develops over time. So you can answer, how does the market develop? You can put in that statement based on, this is sports inspired apparel, which justifying our move to this line of clothes is it's growing. Pieces are being sold, going up. We're not including blazers because it's just a very stagnant market. So we want to enter a market that is consistently growing. So you can add those, reasonings here and copy and paste and into your report. You can also, again, change what's shown on here. You can also change the style however you would like. With the library subscription to Statista, you have republication rights, so you can take the data and use it however you need. For example, you might need something from another database for the profit and loss statement, and maybe you want to put information from another database in here, or maybe you want to take another, maybe you have another format for a business plan that you'd want to use, and you can take the data from here and put it in there. So it just gives you just a little structure as well as content. So you can take this and use it however you need for your report. All right, and then I want to show you one last thing. So now we also have our Statista pitch deck template. So this can be downloaded and used however you like. So maybe you have all the information you need. Now it's time for your pitch to investors or somebody who's going to help fund, just a way to organize all that information. And that can be downloaded here as a PowerPoint. And just waiting. Here we go. So this is what the pitch deck looks like, and you can add it however. Oh,
It's not showing, Megan.
oh, I know. I saw my face and I was like, "No, I'm not supposed to see me." Share. Can you see now?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay,
can you
cool.
make it full screen?
Yes, I can. Slideshow from beginning. Okay. So this is something that you can take it and make it however you need. So we have just some different prompt questions that you'd want to cover. So what is this current presentation about? What problems are you trying to solve? Is there a trend? So this is just different questions that can, and these can be deleted, edited out. It's just a way to, the way that we set it up, just to give you some structure in case if you've never made one of these before. So tell them how you are willing to get your share of the market. State your partners, what they provide. So maybe you have, business partner. So fundraising, your team, profit and loss details. So that can be generated from the profit and loss statement. Just some other questions. We also include some samples. So here's an example of Airbnb, Uber, Facebook, just to give you an idea of like what it looks like filled out. All right, and try to see if there's, it's a pretty big deck. So I just want to show you, we have from current slide. Nope. There we go. So we have our, the pestle analysis, just different things that you'd want to include. We have our SWOT analysis. I mentioned that before. That's important when you are pitching a new business, addressing all those strengths that your company has, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So just a really, and also the different questions that you can ask. So where do you lag behind? Why do customers choose competition over you? So you can address this right away, and we have the right prompts for you. So that is a little bit about the different tools. This is just what I've showed you today is just a glimpse of what Statista can do. But I just wanted to show you some different tools that can help you when it comes to writing up your business plan and just getting an idea about the market. We have some time left. So is there anything while we're together you'd like for me to go over? Anything you'd like to see or any questions that you might have?
Well, while people are figuring out if they would, if they have any questions, I'm going to quickly share where you can access Statista on our website. So I'm going to share with you all. Let's see, so this is the Champaign Public Library homepage, champaign.org. And if you just go over to business, and then down, so scroll down to the bottom of it. And so we have our business tools at the bottom of the page. Statista is right at the end. And since I'm currently at Champaign Public Library, it will automatically allow me access. But if you're utilizing this resource at home, you will be asked for your library card number and your PIN. If you don't have a library card, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm Madeline Wolski, the business librarian, and we can figure out a solution to make you utilize it. So how much do Statista services cost? So you don't have to pay anything to use Statista. The library is covering that amount. And I'm not exactly sure how much that we're paying a month, but I know it's worth it.
Yes, definitely.
Well, yeah.
Anything else? Okay.
In that case, Megan, I'd like to thank you, and thank you, Priscilla, for help. Oh, do Urbana library members have access? No, so Champaign library card holders, although if you come into the library and utilize, even just have your laptop with you, you can definitely access Statista. And I also recommend, feel free to email me at mwolski@champaign.org, and I'm putting that into the chat. And I can help you out with access. And I'm not, Urbana actually, they might, I'm not sure if they have a subscription to this database. I don't think so.
No, it's just Champaign for now.
Okay.
For now.
For now. All right.
Great. Well, if anyone has any particular questions about Statista, reach out to your, if you can't find it, your very helpful librarians can help you. And if there's something very specific that if they can't help you, if it can't be answered through another database or any other materials, they can reach out to me. So you don't have to worry about talking to Statista. You can always filter those questions there, but go to your librarian first.
Yes, and we are always excited to help provide you access to information. So once again, thank you everyone for joining, and a special thanks to Megan for coming in and showing us how to use